In this class, we will clarify certain terms in Jainism, and then we go to the comparison chart of Jainism, Buddhism. These two religions, Jainism, Buddhism and Jainism, they are called heterodox religion or the unorthodox, because they do not accept the authority of the scriptures. And therefore they are categorized. In fact, we have three. That is materialism or pure materialism, Buddhism, Jainism. All these three fall outside the category of the unorthodox system, or into that category of unorthodox system, whereas all the other things are orthodox, or because they accept the authority of Vedas. So based on the authority of the scriptures of Vedas, the philosophy is divided into two groups, orthodox and unorthodox. And here we have these two religions, and the other one is materialism, which we have seen already. The two, materialism and Buddhism, we have seen. Now what we are dealing with is Jainism. Jainism, we have also seen a number of things, especially what makes the main philosophy of Jainism, and what are the five, that is Mahavratas, and then the Anuvratas, which are observed by the laity. So monks, nuns, laity, these are the three categories which are existing in Jainism. And then we have seen that is in the Buddhism what is the ideal to be reached, and in Jainism what is ideal to be reached. So in Buddhism it is more of it is in the two groups, that is in Buddhism what we have is that is of the Hinayana and Mahayana, two groups, major division in Buddhism. So Hinayana group, for them Arhathood is the highest ideal to be reached, whereas for the Mahayana group it is the Bodhisattva ideal. It means they forego even that of that nirvana. That means once they reach the Arhathood, next is nirvana. It's just one step enough, and then they reach. But they forego the Bodhisattva ideals. They forego that and come back to the world to teach the remaining human beings the way to, that is the revelation, or the way to enlightenment. That is their ideal. In Jainism we have, that is Arhathood or Arhyant, and in the Arhyant itself there is two divisions are coming. That is, one is the Tirthankara and one is Keval, that is ordinary Kevali, that is one who is reaching that omniscience. So that part we are going to see today. That is the concept of Arhyant or Arhathood. When a person destroys the Gadi karmas, he attains Keval Jnana. So for the Jains, what is that moksha or the liberation? That is perfect knowledge, vision, power and bliss. So a person who possesses perfect knowledge, vision, power and bliss, he is called he has got the Kevala Jnana, or he is a Kevalin. He has attained that and then becomes free. So when a person destroys his Gadi karmas or the karmic effects, he attains a Kevala Jnana. He has regained the original attributes of the soul, which are perfect knowledge, perfect vision, power and bliss. So these four are the original status of the soul: perfect knowledge, power, vision and bliss. So this is somehow curtailed or veiled in such a way due to the karma. So a person who destroys all these karmic effects or the Gadi karmas, and then he attains the Kevala Jnana, that is the real original status of the soul: perfect knowledge, vision, power and bliss. And then he is omniscient of the past, present and future forms of all entities, living and non-living beings of the universe. He is still a human being. He preaches the religion and remains in the state of blissful condition for the rest of his life. He is known an Arhyant or Arhathood, what we have seen in Buddhism. So he is a person or called Arhyant. And this is of two types, Arhyant of two types. One is Tirthankara and ordinary Kevala or Kevala Jnana. Who is a Tirthankara? Immediately after attaining Kevala Jnana, if a person establishes the fourfold religious order of monks, nuns, Sravakas, that is male lay people, and Sravikas, female lay people. So immediately after gaining or attaining that Kevala Jnana, then if he is proceeding to establish the fourfold religious order of monks, nuns, Sravakas and Sravikas, then he is known as a Tirthankara. He preaches the Jain philosophy, religion, ethics, etc. to his followers. So he is the one of the ford makers, the one who has crossed over the sea, and he has become a Jaina or a victor, and now he has to establish the fourfold order of for religious order of monks, nuns, Sravakas and Sravikas, male lay people and female lay people, that is Sravakas and Sravikas. So that is, then he is called a Tirthankara. Then he preaches the Jain philosophy, religion, ethics, and all that is connected to Jainism. 24 Tirthankaras are born during the descending part of the cycle, that is Avasarpini Kal of the religion, that is Bharatakshetra of the universe. Now no two Tirthankaras have lived at the same time of this region. Generally, a Tirthankara is born when the religion is at its depression state. He strives the same philosophy, or he revives the same philosophy and religion at that time. Sometimes he gives a different form to the religion depending upon the time, place and human behavior. So it's just like we can say that it is avatar. When does then avatar takes place? When the equilibrium is broken, the Ridha is broken, and adharma gets over to dharma, or more of adharma is dominating than dharma, then there's said to be a God reincarnates or takes an avatara of different form in order to re-establish the dharma. So that is the concept of avatara. In a similar way here, the birth of a Tirthankara, no two Tirthankaras living at the same time, the age, or in the same period. It's only one, and his avatar or his coming is in order to restore the Jain philosophy, because the religion has undergone a lot of depression or degradation. So he has to revive that. So he revives the same philosophy and religion at that time. Sometimes he gives a different from the form to the religion depending upon the time and the place and the human behavior. For example, Lord Mahavir preached 5 great vows, whereas Lord Parshva preached only 4. So one more was added by Lord Mahavir. The vow of celibacy was included in the non-possession category during Parshva's time, but Mahavir made it a separate vow. So according to the time and need and the condition, so there is certain changes are taking place. So what we are trying to see is that the 2 categories of Arhyants. One is Tirthankara, that is said to be the higher order here, the sense. A person who has received Keval Jnana, and he becomes omniscient, and from then he proceeds to establish the fourfold religious order of monks, nuns, Sravakas and Sravikas. Then he is going to teach them all about the Jain philosophy, morals, ethics and all that. Then he is called a Tirthankara. And then already in the line of succession we have 24 Tirthankaras. The last two, Parshva and his follower, that is Lord Mahavir, we have some evidences of that. Other than that, the rest of them, perhaps not much evidence is there. So what they are doing, that is according to the need of the time, they bring back, or their coming into existence is for restoration of Jain religion when it has undergone the depression or the destruction. Tirthankaras are also known as Jina or Nigrantha. Jina means one who has conquered the inner passions, desires like hatred. Nirgrantha means one who has gotten rid of all attachment. So the two other words by which they are Tirthankaras are known as Jina and Nirgranthas. So that is one of the two categories or two divisions in the Arhyans. So Arhyanta has got two categories. The first category is Tirthankara. The second one is ordinary Kevali. So the only difference between Tirthankara and ordinary Kevali is that the latter does not. That means ordinary Kevali do not establish the religious order. So only difference between these two, the Arhyans, in the two categories, one is Tirthankara, the other is ordinary Kevali. He remains in the state of perfect blissful condition for the rest of his life after attaining Keval Jnana. So Keval Jnana is common to both the Arhyanta. So Arhyanta's a person or as a status or a stand, it is equal, be whether he is a Tirthankara or ordinary Kevali, the Keval Jnana, that is equal to both. Only difference between the two of them, that is the Tirthankara and ordinary Kevali, is that ordinary Kevali do not establish the religious order, whereas Tirthankara, he established the religious order, the fourfold religious order of monks, nuns, Sravakas and Sravikas. In the religious scriptures, the name Arhyans and Tirthankaras are interchangeably used because ordinary Kevalis do not play a significant role in the order. So because this is interchangeably used, that is Arhyant, the Tirthankaras interchangeably because it doesn't, ordinary Kevali do not make much difference in the Jain, significant the religious order. Now another term is to be used is Siddha. Who is a Siddha? So we have seen certain ideas. Now Arhyants are there, Siddhas are there. All Tirthankaras and ordinary Kevalis destroy their remain Agati karmas and attain liberation at the end of the present life. Now they are known as Siddhas. So Siddhas are those who destroy their Agati karmas and have attained the Keval Jnana. They are totally free. They do not possess body. They are free from birth and death cycle. They do not feel pleasure, pain, joy, sorrow. They live in an ever blissful, lasting and blissful condition on the top of the logas known as moksha. All Siddhas possess the same quality of soul and their attributes are same. However, they still maintain their unique identity. So this is the position of Jainism with regard to Arhyants, that is Tirthankaras and Keval Jnana or ordinary Kevali. one who attains the omniscience. So one who destroys the karmic effects, he attains this knowledge or the Keval Jnana, then he is restoring, or he is getting back the original status of his soul, that is full, that is perfect knowledge, power, bliss and vision. So these four things are required for your liberation, and that is the original status of the soul. According to Jainism, that is a perfect understanding or perfect knowledge, perfect vision, knowledge, vision, power and bliss. Knowledge, vision, power and bliss, this in its perfect stage, it is present in the one who is already liberated, or the soul has been brought back to its original status, and that is the process of liberation according to Jainism. Siddhas are those persons who have attained or destroying the remaining karmas and then attaining liberation at the end of the present life. So they are known as Siddhas. They are totally free. They do not possess a body. They are free from birth and death circle. So one of the main theme is of that rebirth. Why rebirth? Because you'll have to get rid of all your accumulated karma. Only then there is going to be the real liberation from the world or the moksha. So Siddhas are the persons who are said to live in a state of moksha. All Siddhas possess the same quality of soul and their attributes are same. However, they still remain or maintain their unique identity. From here we go to the comparison chart. So both of this, Buddhism and Jainism, they have something very common to them, plus there are certain differences also. So in the comparison chart we are going to deal with, is there any similarity between them, or are there points in which they agree, or the point which they differ. So which will help us to have a view of both this religion together, because they are falling under the same category of heterodox religion or unorthodox religion, because they do not accept the authority of Vedas. So they have given an interpretation to the universe in a quite a different way other than that of the scripturic interpretation or the scriptural interpretation of the world. Then the concept of God, concept of man, it's all different. So when we look into, on the one hand, there is a total negation of the soul or a permanent entity in Buddhism, whereas Jainism affirms that soul is the dominant one that continues to exist. So divergently, that is, both are at pole's end, North Pole and South Pole. So we can say that way, because there is a diverging opinion. But still, there is something common to both of them in their development, origin, and finding the philosophy, certain ideas which they come together. So there is something which is common to them. So we are going to look into the differences and similarities. That's a comparison chart. Where do they differ? Where there are some similarities coming into. Put a stop.